The Bloody Podcassacre with Zac Walters and Kennedy Catherine.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back
To the Bloody Podcassacre with Zac Walters.
and Kennedy Catherine. I'm so ready.
I'm so excited, and you are less excited.
Well, we'll get into that in a little bit. We just want to say thank you to everybody for listening to the first episode of The Bloody Podcassacre. Seeing everybody share, listen, and love, it was so nice to see.
We are so excited to share more with you guys.
It's in the bag.
But first, we're going to take a bit of a detour because it's Christmas, and it would be sacrilegious, if you will, if we didn't focus on the holiday for a minute.
We have to.
In the year of our Lord 2020, you have to take joy where you can get it.
And you found joy in this movie.
I found joy in this movie in 2015 and every day since.
How? I really do not understand this at all.
Have you ever...
No.
Okay.
And that's it. I don't feel joy for me or for anybody else.
Ever.
Actually, it's a real problem.
Do you lack empathy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll work through that as the years go on. That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's a nice little just like toss in, you know, throw in some problems. We'll figure it out on the road.
Throw in some psychopathy.
Easy.
Fine. Do you ever just find something in your heart of hearts? You know it's shitty,
Yes, all the time.
but you love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's this for me.
Interesting.
Condescending. What do you remember from your childhood as being the exciting aspect of Christmas? Was it seeing your family? Was it presents? Was it Santa?
Seeing my family was a thing that it was always like, I saw them every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, love my family, right?
Bless
love
them.
to see them. Now more so because I live away from them. But it was always the presents. It was the gifts. And not having to spend a single dime on anybody else because you were a child.
We didn't even know. We had
No.
no idea. The expectation as you get older to have to...
Really put on a show for Christmas
Oh.
is hard.
The idea of Christmas often is better than the experience of Christmas.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
You know what, actually? That's a great metaphor for this movie. I understand that this is not a good movie. The idea of it.
Yes.
Is-
I can agree with you there. Mm-hmm. Will I give it a chef's kiss? Not so much.
That's fine.
But the morale behind it.
Yes.
I don't have any other metaphors for it, but yes, you're right.
This movie has something. Whimsy.
But not scary.
It is intended to be a horror, though, and we've talked about this. That
Right.
Christmas horror is a niche. It's not really a thing that exists too much outside of.
Black Christmas.
Which, have you seen it?
I have not seen it. The old ones, the new ones, any of them really. But they're all on my list to watch.
The original one, I recommend it. This will drop on December 23rd, and if you really want to get in the Christmas spirit, everyone, please watch the original Black Christmas.
Do you know when that came out?
I think 1976. And
That is literally what I was going to say.
and
It
I-
just feels right. It feels like a good time for a horror movie to come out with 76.
1974.
Earlier.
10 out of 10 recommend for a Christmas horror because I don't think you're going to get the horror feelings that you want out of today's film.
And that's what I think I need to also take a step back because we did talk that I mentioned that horror is a feeling versus a genre.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to put myself in, isn't a horror. Like, it's classified as a horror, but it really isn't.
It toes that line where it wants to be a comedy horror, which is actually very difficult to do.
There's few movies that I like that are comedy horrors.
This movie doesn't really have the campiness to
hit comedy, what we think comedy should be,
Yeah.
per se.
This is very National Lampoon's
Yes.
Christmas horror.
It's fun.
It is fun.
That's what it is. It's a fun thrill. It's like a roller coaster ride. We reference roller coasters. I do. I love a roller coaster. But it just feels like an amusement ride, essentially. Like, fun for a little bit. You have a little bit of, like, thrill in it. And you're like, oh, yeah, that was it.
And then you get off.
Yeah,
Go about your day.
But apparently not for you. You think about this every single day of your life.
Here's what I think it is. Above all else, this podcast is dedicated to Toni Collette.
In every way, shape, and form. A wonderful woman. An excellent actress.
I tweeted about her 3 times yesterday.
As you should. I think I need to turn on your post notifications.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, well, I'll do what I want with my phone. Thank you very much.
Somebody did have my post notifications on, and then one day just sent me screenshots of every time.
You tweeted and deleted?
Because I often make spelling errors, and I tweet and delete about 5 times before I send the one that sticks. And then if that doesn't get upwards of 10 likes in an hour, gone. It's my Twitter, I'll do what I want. That's my business. The movie we're talking about today
is the 2015...
critically acclaimed...
I don't even have words for it.
Krampus. Let's discover the plot of this.
We say plot in quotes.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to it.
This wholesome, fun family film. Okay.
Do you want to know something that is scarier and more funny than this movie? And I'm just going to say it, and I know you'll agree with me. Cat in the Hat, the live action. You could not tell me that movie is not better than Krampus. It has scary moments. It is funny. I will fight anybody who disagrees with me. Full fist fights.
Zach and I were on a camping trip this summer where we forced everybody to watch Cat in the Hat.
For a good reason.
Full group of adults. It's so good.
There's nothing wrong with that movie. Yes, sure, it's kind of weird. The comedy is top notch. Mm-hmm. Remember when I said I didn't like comedy? It's because my top notch movie of comedy is Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks. Kelly Preston in that movie. Call me. Oh my god, she did die. I forgot. Oh no.
I was scared that I was lying.
Shit. God, really take a low for me here. I was really going to say, Kelly Preston, call me on Wednesday, but she can't. Not that she would have, but she might. I don't know. So, in Krampus, 3 days before Christmas, the dysfunctional Engel family gather for the holidays. Their youngest child, Max, remains a firm believer in Santa Claus, and he intends to send him a letter. Max's family includes his teenage sister, Beth, and his parents, Tom, played by Adam Scott.
Wonderful man.
Sarah, played by...
the one and only Toni Collette.
And then Tom's mother, Omi, who is an old German woman. Very few credits to her name. Krista Sadler is her name. Sarah's side of the family visits... yeah.
I was really intrigued by that. Gorgeous woman.
It's going to become very clear throughout the recording of this podcast that I have some feelings about the grandma from Krampus.
Also, I love when you tell these stories like this, because I just sit back and listen. I don't think I ever want to tell the story.
You don't have to. Sarah's side of the family also visits for Christmas. It's her sister Linda and Linda's husband Howard. So that's Aunt Linda and Uncle Howard and their 4 kids, you're right. Howie Jr., Stevie, Jordan, and then baby Chrissy, and also their bulldog Rosie, true hero of the film. Along with the family, they bring, unexpectedly, Aunt Dorothy. So this is Toni Collette and her sister's aunt, whom they dislike because she's an old drunk.
Been there, done that.
So Max, the youngest child, he really wants to continue family traditions, but tension is really high and it's making it difficult to feel the Christmas spirit. When his cousins come along, they find Max's letter to Santa and they read it out at dinner and they mock him for still believing in Santa. It's very sad. But then he fights with them, as is Max's way. He's a real fighty little dude. And he yells out that he hates his family. He even hates Christmas. His father comforts him by telling him that even though there's chaos during the holidays, he should always love his family, and he gives him back his letter to Santa. But in a fit of anger, Max tears up the letter and throws it to the wind outside, and it's swept up into the sky. Later that night, from that same sky, a severe blizzard engulfs the town, causing a power outage. When Beth, the teenage daughter, ventures out to check on her boyfriend, a large horned creature chases her. She hides beneath a delivery truck, but the creature leaves a jack-in-the-box, which then attacks and captures her under that truck. The father, Tom, and Uncle Howard leave to search for Beth. They find her boyfriend's house in ruins with the chimney split open and large goat-like hoof prints in the house. Outside, the two are attacked by an unseen monster under the snow, but they return home and board up the windows. Later, when all the family is in the living room together, a large hook with a living gingerbread man attached to it lures Howie Jr. into the chimney, and he's dragged up the chimney despite the family's best efforts to save him. Meanwhile, a fire log is inadvertently kicked aside during the struggle to save him, and it sets the tree ablaze. Our old grandma, Omi, explains that the creature that is hunting them is Krampus, a demonic ancient spirit who punishes those who have lost the Christmas spirit. Omi recounts that when she was a child, her parents and community lost their spirit due to the hardships of the war, which then summoned Krampus. He dragged everyone except her to hell, leaving behind a bell bauble with his name on it. The family remains skeptical until monstrous toys hidden in presents that were delivered earlier invade the house. Stevie and Jordan are lured to the attic by Beth's voice, even though Beth has ostensibly been killed. Jordan is then swallowed by der Clown. I'm so sorry to my German ancestors. The Jack-in-the-Box, that's the clown. The family fends off the toys, but Krampus's elves leap in through a window, taking Aunt Dorothy, Howard, and baby Chrissy. Tom decides that the family should flee to an abandoned snowplow on the street outside. In order to distract Krampus, Omi sacrifices herself, and he emerges from the fireplace and attacks her with his bag of toys. Outside, Tom, Sarah, and Linda are dragged under the snow while Stevie is captured by the elves, so now all the adults are gone. Krampus confronts Max, the youngest child, and gives him a bell bauble wrapped in a piece of his discarded letter. After Stevie, his cousin, was tossed into a hole leading to hell, Max honestly apologizes for losing his spirit, trying to save his family. Although Krampus seems to accept his apology, wiping away a single tear with his long Krampus finger, he still tosses Max into hell. Max awakens in the house, though, the next morning, Christmas morning, discovering that his family is alive and well downstairs. He thinks that what happened was just a nightmare. However, he unwraps a present to reveal Krampus's bauble, leaving the family with an ominous look on their faces as everyone's memory of the horrific events slowly come back to them. The camera pans out, revealing that the family is being watched through a snow globe by Krampus, along with hundreds of others in his collection. The evil toys then appear for one last jump scare.
You are kind of giving me Toni Collette vibes today.
That is the nicest thing anyone's ever
Also,
said.
while you were recording, the sun really just went away.
It sure did. Why am I giving you Toni Collette vibes? What is it?
I think it's the turtleneck and the blonde hair.
Yeah. So, Zach and I have opposing opinions on this film.
For a good reason.
So tell me why you didn't really like Krampus.
To start off, I thought it was boring.
Okay.
And it felt like a laugh fest. Which, if that was the goal, they did it. I think when I first watched it back 2015, I didn't really have a good understanding of what horror is and how we talk about it now. And so now I understand where it's like, if it's not scary, it's not good, which I don't agree with, but I probably felt like that back then. And so when I first watched it, I was like, this is a pile of garbage. I can see now how people do like it, but I just think it's missing bits and pieces everywhere to make it better.
It's not scary enough to be a horror, and it's not funny enough to be a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Gently going into each pool to just create kind of like a fun, whimsical, easy watch, because this movie was intended, I believe, because it's PG-13, to be a family movie for the holidays that isn't, just your generic rom-com or Hallmark movie. So I can appreciate it for that, but I begrudgingly understand where you are coming from in this.
Thank you. And I can see where you're coming from. And that's it. That's the...
There was still aspects of it that you enjoyed, though. So as per usual, we are going to share some of our favorite scenes. As per usual, as if we've done this 17 times rather than 2.
And I say I'll share my favorite scene because I had one. One that really stuck with me.
Can you tell me about it?
Of course. The scene that I loved the best is when the two daughters of the aunt and the uncle, so the cousins, they hear Beth's voice coming from upstairs in the attic, and they have their little flashlight, and they're going to go look for Beth, because what else do you do when the power's out and a demon's running around?
Well, and at this point, Beth has been missing for 2 days. The family is really not that concerned about it because children die left, right, and center in this movie, and everyone's just kind of like...
They're like, as they should.
You know what?
We'll make another.
Maybe if you'd fucking behaved right.
Max.
They're still aware that Beth has been missing, and they're like, oh my god, Beth.
Maybe she's in the attic.
It was not Beth's voice.
No.
But it's just like a generic kind of animatronic sounding female voice.
Well, they're all stupid.
Truly.
So, and I mean, Aunt Dorothy probably got them all drunk a little, so...
Aunt Dorothy did get them sauced up. Aunt Dorothy, to get through this all, was just...
one of us.
Peppermint schnapps in the most delicious looking hot chocolates that
Yes.
have ever been made by that German grandma. And
You really love Omi.
I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to
Okay.
really talk about it. And at one point she gathers the kids around a table and just lets them have it.
She's like, this is called drinking, my dudes.
And this is how we cope in this family.
Yes.
And they did.
They did. So those kids probably were sauced up, as you said, ready to go up into the attic. They were like, Isabel, no. They went up. They had their flashlight. And they're looking around. They see something squirming. And I don't like things that squirm. No, thank you.
Not in an attic.
Not anywhere. where's a good place to quote unquote squirm?
I don't like that question.
Well,
I was thinking of the little worm in a forest.
oh, sure. Cute.
Expected.
Yes.
Okay.
Squirming away. Mm-hmm. Anywho, they have their flashlight. They're looking around. They see the squirming object. And it turns around, and it is that jack-o'-lantern. Excuse me. You really built up that tension to knock it right down. No, the jack-in-the-box, if you will.
Which killed Beth earlier.
Yes. Which is Beth? We don't know. Like, killed Beth but took her voice. It's a very Little Mermaid situation. So this jack-in-the-box is now massive. It is, I don't know, I was going to relate it to a snake, but no snakes are that big. And if they are, please kill me. Sorry, Kennedy just gave me a nod, and so she's confirming she will murder me.
I know you hate snakes.
Yes.
So if you were in a situation where you were going to get attacked by a snake and die, I would kill you first.
Thank you. But this jack-in-the-box, terrifying, large, it has this mouth, it turns. Has a mouth, and it looks like its face is porcelain, and it like unhinges its jaw in two sections, and it is like gum, is the best way to describe it, with a bunch of teeth. It breaks the face into thirds, essentially. It just goes.
Do you know what it's exactly like?
What?
Its mouth.
Yes.
To a T.
That is exactly what that is. But on a jack-in-the-box. I thought the scene was great. Just because of that one CGI scene with the mouth.
But tell me what happens with the jack-in-the-box.
I could care less.
I know you could.
It just starts attacking.
The child. It eats one of the children.
Yes, it eats one of the girls from the cousins. And then the aunt, their mom, comes up with...
I saw it like a split second before it happened, and I didn't know how to warn you. I'm so sorry.
I think it started playing for a split second.
Just so everyone knows what just happened. Zac has a beautiful arrangement of vinyls on his wall, and one just fell off the wall and kind of directly onto his lap.
Yeah, I really saw God for a split second.
It was one of those moments where I was like, I'm clocking this. I know I don't have time to tell you. And that is exactly what happened.
It's also weird because I'm talking once again about a scary thing, quote unquote scary. I thought it was my cat, but then I was like, what is he doing up there? What is he doing up close to the ceiling? If that moment felt like it lasted 15 minutes.
Holy fuck.
Anyways.
Okay, so I have no idea where you were.
Well, I was talking about Toni Collette and her sister coming up to the attic to save the children because they are screaming because the jack-in-the-box, I almost said jack-o'-lantern again.
Yeah, eaten one of them.
Yes, devoured one of the kids.
Yeah.
What happened to the other one? I don't remember.
Toni Collette pulls her out, I think. She's all spitty and gross, but she makes it to the end because she's the one that Krampus throws into the underworld.
What happened to the other one?
She got eaten.
Oh. And they were eating both of them, but they saved the one.
Right.
Yes. So anyways, the jack-in-the-box. They're in a full... They, as in the aunt, Toni Collette, the one kid, and now more toys. They're in a full-fledged action scene up in that attic. They're fighting. They're going. Kind of wish I was part of it.
Meanwhile, downstairs, the uncle, David Koechner, is shooting gingerbread men.
Yeah, not well. He hits one, and the other one he's like, well, can't do it.
And then a thing comes down from the rafters.
And it looks like baptism clothing.
Right? It kind of looks like a combination between a human, like a Christmas tree topper angel, and a monkey, but all white.
And with like red eyes, I think?
I don't know what it is. Because there's a lot of genres happening. Krampus is a German demon goat man, but his minions are...
name it.
They run the gamut between circus folk to...
Elves? They were wearing masks when they broke into the house.
Well, and then he has other, like, sidekicks that all look like Krampus, too.
Yes. He really got a lot going on. He owns the circus. He's a ring master, if I do say so myself. My favorite part is where the jack-in-the-box is trying to escape. How often do you see the villain trying to escape in a situation? It's usually, like, the other way around. Mm-hmm. But he's trying to escape through the vents, and he cannot because the child is in him.
Too big for the vents.
And he's just, like, trying to, like, get in, and his hands are trying to go, and it's, once again, laughable.
Comical. But it's supposed to be.
Right. Was it? See, I think going in, I didn't know it was supposed to be a comedy. This time I did, so I did find it amusing. We're back at it again. Back at the good old debate of was it good or was it not?
I think we can both be sold either direction depending on the moment of the film.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. My favorite part of this movie is...
I'm so excited to hear this.
I know you are. Well, first of all, I have tons. I have so many favorite parts.
Yours is start to end.
So this movie is 1 hour and 38 minutes. My favorite part is from 1 minute to 1 hour 37 minutes because I love the entire thing.
Do you not like the part at the beginning? You said 1 minute. Do you not like the mall part?
I actually don't.
And why is that?
I find gluttony, greed on like a societal level to that extent. Because basically the beginning of the movie is, it looks like a Black Friday situation. There's all these people crowding a store and like fighting each other for stuff. It's a very real thing that happens. And I find it so upsetting and absurd.
I don't know particularly if it happens here.
I don't think it does.
No, because I've never personally seen it. Like people fighting for items.
People have been killed on Black Fridays in the States. Both that, not to get into it, both that people are that greedy, but also that society is built in a way, there are people who need that. There are people who need things to go on sale on a Black Friday in order to have them. So just like, don't go and feel, whatever the fuck, I don't like that whole concept. And I had forgot actually that the movie started that way and I was upset by it when it first opened. I just hate it. So yeah, after that, I love that none of the families make sense.
Not at all.
None of these people should be together in any way.
I feel like they like casted, they were just like you. They were like, oh, Toni Collette, great. And they picked another one. They were like, Adam Scott is the husband.
Amazing.
It's like a murder mystery when you just get to, you have to be that character.
Truly.
That was all of these characters.
Mm-hmm. They're like, Warner Brothers sat down and said, who do we have the most dirt on? Because that's who we're going to get to be in this film. Doesn't make any sense. Like I said, there's this part where, so this German grandma.
Omi.
She's making a lot of cookies. She's cooking a lot. That's what making cookies is.
That's baking, technically.
She's speaking a lot of German in a house where it seems that people should have adjusted to the fact that she's speaking German, but clearly no one can communicate with her outside of Adam Scott and then the grandson. She handles a lot of large knives. There was a part where she was in the kitchen and she picked up a butcher knife, and I thought to myself, is the grandma kind of hot? Do you have any feelings about that?
I don't know.
You don't think so?
It's just odd. It's an odd character to pick because I would assume for you, Toni Collette.
Well, yeah, but that's...
a given, right?
Yeah.
But Omi? Miss Ma'am? Miss Omi, if you will?
She has a story.
Omi, if you nasty.
First and foremost, I like substance in a
Okay,
person.
she has a story to tell, but never tells anybody until the last possible minute.
Let's talk about this. Omi knows everything that's going on. She knows why it's going on. She was left by Krampus to deliver the message of the Christmas spirit. At no point does she do anything she was supposed to do.
No, she does not care about her family. Mm-mm. Not at all.
And why is Adam Scott, why is everyone so chill with her being like, so by the way, I know this whole time you probably thought that I emigrated here by myself and started a new life. And I met your dad, and so be it. But actually what happened is everybody was thrown into the underworld by a half demon, half goat. His name's Krampus. And Adam Scott is just like, oh.
They're like, oh, well, that explains it. Thanks.
Nothing.
Not a bat of an eye.
No.
Everyone is cool with it. They're like, great, let's move on with our day.
Mm-hmm. But they weren't like, I'm so sorry that during World War II...
you lost all of your family, not to...
the war.
But to a demon's underworld.
Because...
you didn't believe in fucking Christmas. Okay, Omi.
Yeah. I don't know. And I felt like something was weird between her and Krampus. Krampus had his long Krampus tongue.
Which for no reason he needs it.
Apparently been compared to some mammals with very long tongues.
Name one without Googling.
Fuck you.
I was going to think of an armadillo.
A lizard of some sort.
I don't think armadillos. Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
That they use that to snatch their prey. So that makes sense, because Krampus's tongue is offensive and large, and I don't...
But he also has a hook. So why need both? Either cut off your tongue or get rid of the hook. Pick one.
It's efficiency, Zach.
You're right.
He needs to have both. And like, what if you get one with the tongue and you need the finger for the other? Ooh. Now that's Christmas spirit.
No, I said the hook, not the finger.
But he also had those long Krampus fingers.
I know. They looked like you could just like pop him right off.
When he was wiping that kid's tear away, I was like, oh my God, he's going to take his eye out. His fingernails were so long.
They don't seem to make sense as fingers. They seem like there's like more segments than like a regular finger, but also he's not a human.
I was just going to say. Okay, let me tell my favorite part of this movie. So...
It wasn't Omi?
No, I mean it was, but my favorite scene.
Fair.
Basically, the body count starts hot and heavy in the beginning with the teenage daughter. And that's when you realize
We're on Black Friday.
This is a lawless film. We're going to lose everyone.
For a good reason.
For good reason. And do I care? No.
There's no emotional attachment. I mean, other for you and Omi.
For me and Omi, and also there is
Did she die?
Yeah, she sacrificed herself to Krampus.
Good. But couldn't do that earlier for her whole other family? She was like, second time's the charm, I guess.
I mean, up until that point, the only people who sort of died was her granddaughter, which she couldn't have predicted because she was the first death. And then her daughter-in-law's nieces and nephew.
Right.
So, I mean, she's got no stakes in this game. Why is she going to sacrifice herself for a couple of kids?
I wouldn't.
Just speaking of emotional attachments real quick. Been a little emotional lately, crying about everything.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, of course. Toni Collette, Adam Scott, we know they're in a loveless marriage. Do we ever really see that? No. But there's this scene.
They couldn't be happier, honestly. It feels like there's stuff going on behind the scenes that maybe would have been good to show.
For sure. I get very invested into marriages for some reason because I think they're all going to fail. So,
well, 50% of marriages end in divorce.
It's true. So they're staring out the window and kind of apropos of nothing, she goes, I miss us.
That's your favorite part? No. Oh.
But I made about 10 notes. And one of them just says, I miss us. And I wrote, I miss you too.
To Toni Collette or to like their relationship?
Their relationship.
Okay.
I just feel bad, you know?
They were going to fix it, but it was too late.
They all died anyway.
But didn't?
No, they did. I'll get there. So my favorite scene, outside of everything I've said so far, is so everyone dies. The funny part about Toni Collette's death is it did not need to happen. They get to the snowplow that they are going to, that's going to be like their
saving grace.
Yeah. She opens the door, gets the kids in. She sees her sister get taken, and she could have just jumped in the truck, but she didn't. She just closed the door and was like,
bye.
I'm out. It's not worth it anymore.
Fair.
True.
Really, really fair. I would do it too.
Just to bring it back to the marriage. Because this is a thing that I notice in a lot of movies, and I just want to talk about it objectively for a second. So often in movies, especially horror movies or thrillers, there is a couple or a married couple where at some point one of them has to be like, it's me, I'm going to sacrifice myself. And always when that happens, the other person has their second where they're like, no, don't. Okay, fine. They never make out.
No.
What the fuck is that?
Because they really don't care.
Your husband, let's say you've been together, I mean, their daughter's 15. You've been together 20 years. And he's like, honey, go on. I'm throwing myself to the demon goat. You're not going to make out with him?
Like, this is your last goodbye.
This is it. You're going to regret that. What a wasted opportunity.
But I feel like there's a lot of things happening that maybe just like a kiss isn't on the top of their mind.
I know that.
But it should be.
And personally, my will to live through deep emotional turmoil is not that deep. So if I was with someone and they were like, baby, go on, I'm going to take one for the team. I'm not going on, telling your family, planning the funeral. Like, fuck, I'm going with you.
Yeah.
No.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah, truly. We both go or neither of us goes. That's it. Throw the kid away if we have to.
Easy.
So favorite scene is everybody's dead except for Max and his one cousin. But his cousin has been taken by Krampus and his legion of Krampuses. Because there's multiple Krampi. He goes... Krampus never moves. Krampus runs a lot, and he's a very speedy motherfucker, but his face does not move.
Just like the bottom half of his like body, agility, everything. The top half, stone.
172 years old.
More.
And he's yelling at Krampus, you know, take me, I believe.
Pick me, choose me.
It's fine.
Love me.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Let everybody else live, even though
they're dead.
And Krampus comes up and wipes away his tear with his Krampus finger. And they have this moment.
His Kringer, really.
Yeah, Krampus wipes his tear with his Kringer. They have this moment. And you think, this is it. This is when...
the kid saves the day.
He saves the day. Krampus is going to give him his family back.
Yeah,
because
he knows
believes,
what Christmas is all about, his family.
We found the true meaning of Christmas. Instead, he just picks him up and throws him in the underworld.
Yep. As he should have, and he did.
Yeah.
Krampus is actually, you know what? I like this movie. Krampus is the real hero in this world, taking out those dumb white families.
I have no argument against that. And that's Krampus. And that's what I loved about it.
It's so weird because we've talked about this and my mind has changed a little bit, being like, yeah, sure, it has some great moments. It's kind of funny. And you're like, is it great? Like, we've switched sides completely numerous times.
Because I think what we have to do is meet in the middle and just agree on the fact that it's fine. Krampus is a fine film.
Yes. There is nothing that's, like, detrimental that, like, that's not the word I was looking for. It's, like, controversial to make it bad. That's where I agree with, we'll meet it fine.
Great.
Even though you think it's a superb film.
I do. But let's take it through our rating system for horror movies.
Yes.
Scale of 1 to 10. How scary?
0.
There's not even a point where you feel unsettled.
No.
Which is our next rating system. How unsettling is it? How long did it sit with you?
0.
0%. How engaged were you?
I mean, I didn't want to leave the theater when I watched it.
Rave review.
But, like, I mean, I was obviously committed to watching the full thing. So, like, I would say probably, for me, out of 10, like a 3.
Ooh. It's rough. But I would agree. Yeah, it's like a 4.
Because, like, the story, there's not really a story. Like, the story is that they don't believe in Christmas and this monster's coming. Up until that point, like, there's no, like, developing stories throughout the... No one gets a redemption arc. No one gets... It just is, y'all are gonna die, that's it.
You said it perfectly when you said you could leave this movie for 40 minutes and come back and have no questions.
Yeah, there's no sustenance. Sustenance?
Yeah.
Sustenance.
Substance or sustenance.
I was missing the B.
Yeah.
To it.
Yeah.
It feels like it could be like almost like a good like TV miniseries.
No. How?
For children.
It was what it was, and that's all it's going to be, and we just have to leave it there.
I can't try to even just be like, oh, it's like this movie. It's like this, because it's not. It is original. Give it that.
So overall rating, is it a paper cut or is it a bloody massacre?
I'm going to say it's like just like the light skin scratch. Like sometimes a paper cut bleeds.
Uh-huh.
It's before that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like your like skin has just come apart a little for me. It's a little below the paper.
I was trying to open the top of our air fryer the other day.
Oh, you got an air fryer.
No, it's an Active Fry from 2014.
Uh-huh.
And when I touched it, the edge felt sharp. And I screamed, ow. But then I realized it didn't hurt and I was just scared. That's what Krampus was for me. Didn't even hurt.
Yeah.
I flinched. Not even a scratch.
It is interesting, though, that would I recommend this as a family movie? Yes.
I would, too.
It's so strange. Even though, like, children, no.
No.
Because there is frightening imagery for children. Like, I wouldn't put, like, kindergarten grade 1, 2, 3 to watch this movie. But if they were, like, 13...
Oh, well, of course. The concept around it and, yeah, the imagery is scary. And we'll talk about that. Let's talk about Krampus. Like, what is Krampus?
Well, as we've said now numerous times, Krampus is this large, maybe 8 foot in this film, goat, half demon being. He has long fingers, a long tongue. He has a Christmas cape. He kind of looks like Little Red Riding Hood. Long nails, lanky but built thing.
There is Krampus parades that happen throughout Austria, Germany, Slovenia, Hungary. There is a description of somebody who dressed up for one of the parades, and it's so fitting. A mangled, deranged face with bloodshot eyes tops a furry black body. Giant horns curl up from his head, displaying his half-goat, half-demon lineage.
It's also interesting because he's supposed to be the, like, dark half of Santa. Santa's a fat old white man. Well, that's what Coca-Cola sold us.
Krampus is the yin to the yang of St. Nicholas.
Yes.
Krampus comes on December 5th.
Before Christmas.
Yeah.
20 days, snatching that away from you.
He punishes the naughty children.
And puts them into, like, baskets, bags, anything, gives them toys, throws them into a fiery place below.
Well, yes. Legend has it that throughout the Christmas season, misbehaved kids are beaten with birch branches, or they can disappear, stuffed into Krampus's sack and hauled off to his lair to be tortured and eaten. They teach this to German children.
Like, I know some people in Germany.
Okay.
If they ever listen to this, please let me know if you grew up with this. Because
I want to know how popular this is.
Yeah, like, is Krampus a household name? Is it something that you grew up with? Or is it now just...
a lost kind of lore?
Yes. But it's interesting because right now I am on www.krampus.com. Who is Krampus the Exorcist Devil? Free Krampus e-cards, Krampus gallery, videos, Krampus on the web, and Krampus swag. It's spelled Schwag. Luscious goodies for the Krampus fans. And I think that might be you. Oh my god, I have to get you this shirt.
What is it?
It is... I just want to describe it to you and then I'll show you. It's, first off, it is a green t-shirt. It is a v-neck. Yeah, v-necks are not it. In the bottom left-hand portion of the shirt, it says Season's Greetings from Krampus. And then it is a cartoon image, and it has Santa Claus on it. He's kind of leaning backwards, but through Santa's abdomen comes Krampus, fully holding Santa behind him. He's pushing through, tongue out, killing Santa Claus. Season's Greetings from Krampus.
The way that you just formed your body, your hands looked like Kiss. Like he's coming through like
Yes!
Gene Simmons.
That is, oh my god, is Krampus Gene Simmons?
The conspiracy theory, you've heard it
Wow.
here first. Gene Simmons is Krampus. Gene Simmons' wife is from the same city that we're from. It comes full circle.
I need to now show you this, but I have to move the microphone.
Oh, that is... okay.
Okay, but also look at this other merch. We have this
That's actually
Krampus button.
very
Oh my
scary.
god, you can get it as a hat.
A skateboard?
I kind of want a Krampus skateboard. Is that wrong?
No. You
Or
can't-
a Krampus mug. I love me a good mug.
Some of these you can't really tell what he is outside of a generic demon. That one on the skateboard looks exactly like the demon emoji on iPhones.
Oh, I was going to say it looks like Double Whammy or that Whammy game on... Don't you remember?
Remember what?
No whammies, big bucks, stop.
What? What are you talking about?
It looks like I'm speaking a third language to you. I've never spoken a second one to you, but...
I was just gonna say, what's the second?
Press Your Luck was the TV show game.
No,
You've never seen Press Your Luck?
absolutely not.
On the Game Show Network? GSN?
No.
Anyways, this is the whammy.
Oh, it does look like that.
The skateboard Krampus.
That also looks like the little character thing that's on Just for Laughs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, loved this show. I think they just rebooted it. Anyways.
Oh, thank God. I was really,
We love a
really,
reboot.
really worried.
This Krampus website, if you ever want to get into
Krampus.
Krampus and the home of the holiday devil, as the tagline on this website is, Krampus.com. It is a treat. It is very outdated, though. Looks like it was made on Pixo, if you ever use that, if you know what that is, or MySpace. That is what it is. R.I.P. We love it. We love
I think
the idea of Krampus.
you've really come full circle here today. You hated Krampus?
I hate the movie, but I love who he is as the thing.
Yeah, I love who he is as a person. I love what Krampus stands for.
Yeah, me too. Terrorizing children. It's kind of like the Christmas boogeyman.
It is. That's a great way of putting it.
Yes.
One thing, okay, I experienced this thing called cute rage, where when something is so cute, I want to kill it. Okay, sorry, not kill it, but like I want to like,
You just want to give it all the affection and yeah.
and just squeeze it. And a thing that I started saying years ago, because one time I told my coworker I wanted to throw her baby into traffic, which is not a funny thing to say.
Oh my god, I love that.
To a new mom. And she didn't understand where I was coming from with that. Understandable.
Yeah.
I get it. It's very unsettling to hear. I didn't want to throw her.
It's a niche joke.
Yeah. And
I get it.
I
but-
didn't want to throw her baby into traffic. I
No.
wanted to love it. It just came out that way. But a thing I started saying years ago was, oh my God, it's so cute. I want to throw it into a volcano. And this movie really provided that imagery for me. And that is when I knew I really do want to throw children into volcanoes.
Would you say that instead of relating to characters you maybe have thought about before in this movie, are you Krampus?
Yeah.
He throws them into the underworld. You want to throw kids into traffic. Maybe he thinks just like a cute, loving way.
Is Krampus the misunderstood figure of this film?
He might be.
Oh my God, that makes me kind of sad.
No one ever had a conversation with Krampus.
No one ever asked him how he was feeling.
No. What about his Christmas spirit? He probably has Christmas home alone.
Krampus is so lonely.
But he does have Christmas off, which is nice for him because he works on December 5th to 6th.
Imagine having a job where you worked one day a year. The dream.
Fuckers. Santa Claus working what?
Year round.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. The Easter Bunny. Any of these people, they work one day a year.
What are you doing the rest of the year?
Right? Chillin'. The Tooth Fairy has to work every single day.
Multiple times a day.
Because it's night and half, not... She's spoken tongues for you.
Thank you. It's beautiful.
But, like, the Tooth Fairy has to work 24/7. It's not the Tooth Fairies. It's one single Tooth Fairy. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Okay, I just complete side note, but I went to that movie in the theater because we watched it as a double feature. We snuck in.
Okay.
So we paid for that movie and stayed for the late one because we weren't too young to get in. So
you were too young to get into the Tooth Fairy movie?
After movie, the like 9:30 movie. I visually remember in the Tooth Fairy on like the screen in the top right corner, the boom mic comes into shot and bounces out, and you're like, what?
They left that in the movie?
Yes!
Oh my gosh.
Because my friend I watched it with was like, did you just see the boom mic go in? And then it like, just is sitting there and then it goes out and you're like, couldn't edit that out, but that probably would have cost millions of dollars to edit that out.
I love shit like that. Like Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Starbucks Gate. Incredible.
There was something else recently that they just did that on.
They left a Starbucks cup
No,
in?
they left a water bottle or something like a cup.
No, yes. The water bottle is in... It's a period piece, I think. Little Women, Hydro Flask.
Was that what it was?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, it wasn't a plastic water bottle.
No. So all in all, it's a wholesome, violent, family good time.
I hate to say it, but maybe my mind has changed.
That's a Christmas miracle.
It really is.
Well, everybody.
Thank you for listening to episode 2.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. We hope you're enjoying this wonderful time, either in isolation. At this point in time, that's what we should be doing. Staying safe, connecting with family and friends.
Via Zoom. We hope that you enjoyed this Christmas special. We'll be back next week with an iconic
film.
Until then, Fröhliche Weihnachten. It's Merry Christmas in German.
All right.